Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mall Talkers. I'm Michael Paskett, aka The Mall Guy, and this is the show where retail and mall pros come to talk shop. In 30 minutes or less, I'm bringing you conversations from the strategists, the operators, and innovators driving the evolutions of malls today. You'll leave with tactics, stories, trends, maybe some laughs that are shaping what malls are, where malls have been, and what are they becoming. So pull up a chair, grab a coffee, and let's talk some malls. Today, I've got a very special guest and good friend of mine, Aurélien Khut from Klepierre, and we are going to talk about how Klepierre uses digital insights to guide strategy. Aurélien, welcome. How are you doing today?
Hi, Michael. I'm good, and you?
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful. So I obviously know everything about you, your past. Can you help tell me a little bit about yourself for the people listening to this?
Yes, for sure. So, I'm Aurélien. I've worked at Klepierre for 8 years now. I'm in charge of data innovation and our digital platform. Klepierre is a European leader in shopping malls. So, we have more than 70 shopping centers across 10 countries within Spain, Italy, France, in Scandinavia, or Eastern Europe. And I'm very happy to be here with you today to discuss this topic with you regarding data and innovation.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I'd say leader is putting it very lightly. Like you guys are uh, setting the trends, pushing the envelope, and I'm very excited for this conversation. Jumping right into it. So you guys obviously manage 70 shopping centers, 10 countries. At this scale, the data you're sitting on has to be enormous. But we all kind of know that data, it doesn't do a whole lot until you actually make decisions on this. And they're two separate things. So where did Klépierre's data strategy start? And what does it look like today?
Well, Michael, to be very honest, we've come a long way
Oh, yeah.
because a few years ago, most of our insights were based on declarative data. So only, I would say, surveys that were conducted in our shopping malls. So it was useful, but a bit limited in the amount of data that we were collecting and also the quality of the data.
Mm-hmm.
But the real shift happened when we launched our digital platform and especially our loyalty program.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
yes, exactly. And at the beginning, there were just tools to bring value and extra services to our visitors, but they also allowed us to better understand who they are and how they behave online and within our shopping malls. So from there, the challenge was not just collecting more and more data, but it was how can we structure it?
Mm-hmm.
And we invested in the right people, I would say, to build a strong foundation. And from there, we started combining what we gather from our tools, but also mixing it with external sources, just to make sure that we understand that everything going on around our shopping malls. So I would say today it's not just something that we collect, but it's something that we use to help us to take the best decision in our business.
Brilliant. And I would say loyalty right now, it's a very big topic. It's in all my
Yeah.
conversations right now with malls. You guys are obviously well ahead, having seen this years and years ago and starting it. Hardest part is obviously just starting and doing that and collecting the data. Within the time today, like obviously there's this give and take. Like in order for me as a shopper to give something, we obviously need some sort of value. Knowing this for your loyalty program, like what are some of the ideas that you've had or done to give the shoppers something to make them loyal?
Well, as you said, it's a very complicated balance because it's an extra effort from our customers, and we need to give them what they are expecting from us.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a lot of studies to understand how what they are expecting from us. So I would say that mainly it was based on discount, but not only.
Fair.
Now they want our customers wants more. They want specific services. They want to feel special within our shopping malls. So we're adding this extra service within our loyalty. And we want also gamification. That's how we are going to make it work. Thanks to gamification, and make sure that they do an action and they have the gain immediately right after. So they don't have to spend a lot of time, spend a lot of money. We want a direct return on what we have done on the loyalty program. So that's how we have seen the way we have built our loyalty program.
Clever. It's almost as if combining like the gamification of Pokemon Go, obviously extreme. You're not catching Pokemon in there. I love Pokemon. Paired with like the loyalty of airlines or things of that nature, where you have different medallion statuses. And I'll say, like, I'm a very avid Bonvoy, I'm very avid Delta because of those things. So I think it's brilliant that you're combining these two to help drive the value for the shoppers to consistently want to come back and consistently want to give you data. So what kind of visitor insights are used when making strategic decisions over there? Like things like tenant mix, layout, programming, activations. Like, what is it that you guys are using?
Well, we rely on a wide range of data to guide our strategic decisions. First of all, we start with external data because there is a lot of public data available, like catchment area analysis. That's something that we use to understand who are our visitors and what do they expect when they come to our shopping centers. But we combine this data with our own data, like demographic profiles, interest, and of course, I would say the commercial performance of the stores. So that's, I would say, the variety of data that we are using. But we are not going just on individual performance for the stores. We look also how the brands are interacting with each other, like the synergies between stores, the potential uplift that one tenant can bring to another one, in order to optimize, I would say, the overall mix. And of course, we are constantly benchmarking the competition because I know that our competitors also have good ideas. So we need also to make sure that we still have a look on the competition. So it's all about connecting all this data, all this knowledge to make a better decision on the mix, on the layout, and the programming of our shopping centers.
Sounds super easy. I'm surprised everyone's not doing it. Just like flip a coin, done. No, it's obviously harder in execution. And like an example to give everyone the view into this of how different tenants can complement. It's the thought of like having a gym and then right next door maybe a GNC or a supplement store, and right next door maybe a massage place or like wellness. So having all these different tenants that can complement either the footfall, the dwell time, the repeat visits, all of that to help drive behavior. It's not as easy as that example because obviously a gym might not fit in this. So how does a Starbucks complement potentially a smoothie place, or thinking of what would be a right fit during the leasing process to get in here?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes we could have tenants that are complaining that they have a competitors just right to the stores. But thanks to this analysis, sometimes we can see that competition is good because it brings also values and sales to other tenants. So even though they are competitors, they are bringing each other to the top by adding extra visitors to their stores.
That's brilliant. So, because that's super interesting, because I could see people complaining, oh, my competitor of insert coffee shop when I'm a coffee shop is here. Yeah. How would you frame that conversation using the data? Like what would you tell them to actually show this as a positive over just the fact that a competitor is right next door?
Well, we are using our data. We are sharing our data saying, yeah, that's what we are collecting from the loyalty program, for example, and we are comparing it to the data that you have in other stores that don't have this competition within our shopping mall. So that's how we are able to prove the tenants that it's efficient. That even though there is competitors can be good for your business because it's adding this extra, I would say, interest for the visitors.
Brilliant. And it's objective at that point. It's objectively, this is the data. What can we do together with this data?
Totally.
Brilliant. So with an expansive global footprint, a lot of properties, a lot of complications, a lot of benefit, how do you standardize what you measure? And how do you act on it without losing the local nuances? Because Italy is obviously vastly different than France, which is vastly different than another country. But also with the standardization, making sure it makes sense at a local level.
Yes, so that's actually what one of the biggest challenge of our business. But our approach has been to build a platform mindset. Basically, we are developing centralized tools and frameworks that can be deployed across all of our shopping malls. But we are not building these tools alone. We are building them with our local teams because we want to make sure that it fits their real needs, their operational needs. And then the key point is that the decision making remains local. Our team is just here to provide the right tool and help them to take the best decision. So we know that the ground team are the experts. They understand the specificities of their market. They understand their visitors and their culture. So yeah, we're just providing the best tool, the best possible tool based on data and how the way we standardized the KPIs and the data to take the best decisions. So this platform approach allowing us to standardize and centralize the data, but we are still preserving the local nuance for each shopping center.
Brilliant. So it sounds like an HQ standardization with obvious feedback and iterations based on the local level, but ultimately the local level has the ability to pivot based on their specific regional needs.
Exactly. And we work a lot on flexibility. We want to stay agile to adapt on all the needs our local team has. And as I said, we are co-building the tools with them. So we don't want to make the tools on our side. We need their feedback because they are the operational. They are the ones that know the best their culture and their shopping center.
Brilliant. I feel like that is part of your success as well, because I've talked to many different malls and seen many different ways to do it. What is unique about this is there is the flexibility, and basically you guys are open to listening and want to listen and want to iterate based on essentially it's what the shoppers are requesting, because the shoppers will request at a local level goes up to you guys can build a platform based on that, but ultimately the local level based on a pivot can help to change what that specific center or centers or regional centers would need within there.
Exactly. And what can be difficult with this kind of organization is that we cannot find the right tool existing in the market. So most of the time we need to build these tools by ourselves.
Yeah. Yep, I hear you. I do hear you guys have some pretty good maps, though. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly.
Insert plug. But regardless of that portion, I do find it interesting, and it sounds challenging because what we're talking about, easy, cool. Flip that coin, it's done. But having to build specific to all of this is quite complicated. So I'd give you guys kudos for being able to do it and more specifically execute it well, because it's obviously showing within all how well your centers are doing at a local all the way up to an HQ level.
Thank you, Michael.
So this one's going to be interesting. So there's a lot of noise right now about AI transformation in the physical retail. It's everywhere, every industry. How are you thinking about AI at Klepierre today?
Yes, there is, as you said, there is a lot of noise with AI right now, but we are trying to approach AI with a very pragmatic mindset, I would say. So for us, it's just for the moment about test and learn
Hmm.
and one use case at a time. Um, we see AI as a decision support tool and also a way to automate a lot of low value tasks that we have. So our teams can focus on what really matters. But for now, AI at Klépierre is a quite broad scope,
Yep.
um, from giving a better access to data to our teams. So instead of relying on Excel file or in a BI dashboard, just a quick prompt within a chatbot can help our teams to get the data or the KPIs they want. Um, it's also a test regarding the security because we are receiving a lot of people in our shopping mall, so we want to make sure that security is a number one priority. So we also are using AI to help us regarding these security matters. And also, we want to improve the customer experience using AI. So, for example, having a chatbot to discuss with our shopping centers when our customers have questions regarding their experience within our shopping mall. So basically, we are still in a learning phase. We are trying to understand where AI truly creates value and where it doesn't. So we don't want to transform everything overnight using AI, but we want to integrate AI where it makes a real difference, where it's useful for us and for our teams.
And I think that your path on this is a good path. Like you're not doing AI for the sake of saying you're doing it. It's very well thought out, very methodical. And I have these conversations all the time. It's like, oh well, how come I need AI for our malls? Like, cool, neat, but like, what do you need it for? There's a myriad of options you can do, and the way I always frame it is like, what are you focusing on? What do you want to do first? And is it low hanging fruit? Is it task based? Like, what is your strategy? Because if you do everything all at once, analysis paralysis, you're going to fail. So I give you guys kudos for thinking about what you want to do first, trying, testing, methodical, having it be for experience, whether it's internal on the security side, the chat portion of it. I think it's going to prove valuable, especially because in my conversations, doing it for one property probably is easier. Doing it for all 70, that's where it becomes difficult because you also have to think about the localization, both in
Exactly.
language, both in culture, both in different even age demographics of the 60 up generation all the way up to the 13 down generation and how they would or could or will not use whatever tools you're presenting.
Yes, we have a lot of different profiles, I would say, in the company. So we need to make sure that it's accessible for everyone and that everyone can use the tool.
Mhm.
And we had this discussion when we worked on the map with you because we wanted to make sure that the tool you are providing was adapted to everyone at Klépierre.
Two inserts of the maps. Those must be pretty good maps. Yes. Well, appreciate it. But I would say it's more complicated. I think it's new. I think it's a very exciting time
Yeah,
because everyone's trying something new and everyone's strategy is not the same. So we're seeing a lot of best practices in different areas to where others can view that, see if it pertains to their business, and then start to model or mimic towards theirs.
exactly. There is a lot to learn regarding AI right now, and that's why we want to stay focused in our core business and we don't want to develop AI everywhere. We just want to make sure that it helps us in the right part of our job.
I think that's smart and smart more importantly for your shoppers to not just jam whatever it is you guys are doing down their throat and being thoughtful about what it is you guys want to do.
Exactly.
So, what is one thing that the data has shown you about how people actually use your centers that has genuinely surprised you? Like an insight that changed a decision, a shift in strategy that you didn't know, shocked you, and then pivoted where you were heading?
That's a good question, Michael. Um, I think I have one example, but
Shoot.
it did not completely change our strategy, but it was more of a strong reminder of what really matters in our business. Because basically we are operating physical spaces.
Mhm.
And data only makes sense if it's connected to those spaces in the real world. I will give you the example. As I told you, we are comparing the tenants and the performance between them,
Mhm.
and we are trying to find some synergies. And we identified three tenants with strong synergies across multiple centers in our portfolio. And whenever they are present together, they are consistently overperforming, except in one shopping center, in one shopping mall. And it took us a lot of time to understand why. But we looked at the physical layout of the shopping mall
Mhm.
using our mapping tool. And we realized that something very simple was just the walking distance. In that specific center, one of the stores was located about 10 minutes away from the others. So that's why it was underperforming to compare to all of our shopping centers where we had these three brands together. So despite having all the data, the insight makes sense only when it's connected to the real world, the physical reality of the shopping center. So that's, I would say, a good lesson. Data is powerful, but in retail, we need to focus on the basic, which are the understanding of our asset.
Absolutely. Got to learn how to dribble a basketball before you can go in for that superstar slam dunk.
Exactly. And that's something we tend to forget when we are working in the data or in all the technicalities of the tools, is that the ground and the asset is the key.
Yep. Everyone wants that slam dunk picture, but if you can't dribble up to it, it's just going to be a travel.
Exactly.
Very interesting. So, just being aware of time, I will leave with one more question. This
Yep.
one's probably a slightly off topic, and this I genuinely am curious to hear from you. So, there's a lot going on in the mall space, a lot of trends, a lot of different paths, different regions doing different things. What is your bet on the current trends you're seeing of where the trends will be in a year's time? So, like, what is it that is happening majorly in malls in Europe that you're seeing as the beginning of a trend that you're keeping an eye on and maybe even thinking about what to do with?
Um, I would say it's already there, but retail media will make a huge difference in the near future. It's just, I would say, the beginning
Mhm.
for us and for the competition, but that's something that we want to develop, and that's something that the brands are expecting, and also our customers are also expecting. So we will see a huge switch on this part of the job, and we want to make sure also at Klépierre that we are equipped for retail media, and we are working very hard on this topic, and we want to have the tools to help us, and we want to have also the offers that will follow the tools.
Well said. Well said indeed. So, again, being aware of time, we'll go ahead and part ways with everyone. I will give you the last chance if you want to say anything for the audience, an outro, anything at all for the mall world to know, even grain of uh, a grain of feedback or smarts within there.
No, I just want to thank you very much, Michael. It's an honor to be with you today and to be able to discuss and to share with the community what we are doing at Klépierre. And I would say that shopping centers and retail still has a bright future.
Very bright, very, very bright. I talk about it all the day. The news obviously puts a harsh glance on where malls are dying and such, but we're seeing in the market and even objectively in the background, like things are shifting, things are growing, the shoppers are coming to the stores.
Yeah.
Their expectations are shifting, and there will be plenty of episodes about this in the future time. I do want to thank you for taking the time to be on this for the Mall Talkers. We will invite everyone to come back in later episodes. Thanks again for watching, everyone.
Thank you
Ciao
very
for
much,
now.
Michael. Bye.
Bye.